Yeah, I was there. I know, I was there, I was like getting impatient. I was like, let's get this thing
I'm
going.
gonna go live now. I'm gonna go live now.
Hey, Jane.
Okay, going live, okay.
I know it's like some breakfast.
It's a safety meeting followed by the employee luncheon, like catered by Charlie's. The safety meeting starts at 10 and then. Okay. I guess we'll have to talk to Shelby. Or we might have to talk to Steve too, because he's the one that coordinated the Charlie's, ordered the food.
Thank you. I did take your spot last night. That's true, Jack, I did. Tom, thanks for answering those questions so early in the morning. It was like 5:20 and I didn't expect an answer, but I didn't expect 5:30 to have an answer. Thank you.
Councilman McGuigan, how are you tonight?
I'm good, how are you doing?
Good.
I'm gonna be asking some questions. You gonna be making fun of me?
Janice,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go live.
Not if you make fun of me first.
I'm not making fun of you.
Okay, all right. We're live.
I don't know
Yes.
what's going on with your face, but I won't mention it.
That's from the Rumble the other night. You should remember that. Yeah, I know. Just seen the other guy,
You ain't tuned in yet?
but I'm here. Mo's in the nose.
Oh, it looks like Kirk and Mike are wearing the same shirt. Look at that.
We're live.
Dermatologists need some Christmas money so they can bring the patients in.
That's it, ruined my Christmas. Not me, I gotta go for 4 sessions.
Oh, well, you're screwed then.
Yeah, I get the flap over and then flap back from the cheek. I wanted to come off the tail,
Yeah.
but they said it's too deep.
You got any video?
No, but if I do, I'll send it to you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
You
Alice.
just stepped out.
How are you
Like
tonight?
dressed the same.
Good. All right.
Put together like a picture.
Yeah, you know, they already got me on,
It's Christmas.
they already got me on video anyway, so. Take all the shots you want.
Wait for the mayor.
Here it comes. Yep. Got his pen.
Here comes the mayor. All right.
This meeting is called to order. Would everyone please rise for the flag salute? May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember DePamphlis.
Here.
Councilmember Dill.
Here.
Councilmember Garrity.
Here.
Councilmember Habercorn.
Present.
Councilmember McGuigan.
Here.
Councilmember Owen.
Here.
Council President Johnston.
Here. Also present is Mayor Tapp, Administrator Frost, Deputy City Clerk, I'm going to say your name wrong. Guillaume Papa. City Solicitor Smith, and City Engineer Snyder. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. The agenda for this meeting is posted in City Hall and on the city's website, summerspointgov.org. Okay, welcome, everyone. Could I have a motion to bring resolution number 254 off the table? We had tabled it at the last meeting. We need to put it back on the agenda for tonight.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 254 is back on the agenda. We have a special presentation tonight with our Deputy Safety Coordinator, Steve Hornig, to give an update on the city's safety program.
Good evening, Mayor, Council President, members of council. I'm here tonight to give a brief, very brief presentation as
We like
required by
that.
our Atlantic County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund, also known as JIF. JIF sets their members up for success with their safety programs through best practices and suggestions by JIF safety consultants, as well as their annual safety incentive program requirements. According to JIF, the two most important parts of safety in the workplace are wellness and training. National studies indicate that healthy employees are less likely to be injured and recover more quickly from injuries. Additionally, there is increased productivity among employees, higher employee morale, and less absenteeism. JIF provides various safety training customized for each department in the city through webinars, meetings, visitations, and digital newsletters. To date, the employees of Summers Point have successfully completed over 200 safety-related training opportunities just this year. The bottom line is that integrating wellness with safety training has a positive impact on employee well-being, and less accidents are reported in the workplace. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
Great job.
Thought you said it was going to be short.
That works.
All right,
Yes.
okay, bye.
Good luck with that.
Okay, anyone have any communications to offer? Hearing none, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, so much for short and sweet. Just a couple things real fast. As maybe some or some might not know, there was a little postcard sent out for the NRTC, which is the Planned Neighborhood Revitalization Tax Credit Program. And basically, this postcard was sent out to all the residents, ballpark, say Harbor Lane, all the way to Ocean Heights, Bay to Route 9. And basically what this is a, we're trying to put together a plan. So this is, let me back that up. So this is really for a grant. We have to put together a plan so we can apply for a grant. In this, 60% of the grant, now we can get up to $1 million a year for 5 years. Atlantic City's doing this in 3 different sections of their town. We qualify because of the demographics that we have in that particular part of town. But 60% of the funding would go to planning, design, management for housing projects, rehabilitation and construction of commercial facilities, recreation, and then 40% could go to infrastructure improvements, including streetscapes, crime prevention, which could be cameras, community outreach. So with that, the flyer went out. I'm hoping that everyone takes the time to fill out a survey, and as well as there's going to be a meeting on November 4th at 6 o'clock here.
December.
December.
Yep.
First time doing this.
That's
December
okay.
4th. And really, the meeting, it's an open public meeting, and we're hoping to get some of the residents that live in that area to come in to give us some more input in the event that they're not tech savvy and they can't do the survey online. There's, on the postcard, it gives out the website, as well as a QR code that they can use so they can go on that website and do that. We also have on December, we got a busy December 7th, not November, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. Will be at 1 p.m. down at our William Morrow Beach, New Jersey and Bay for a little ceremony. Also, we have on that same date, December 7th, we got the Christmas parade. That starts at 6 o'clock, starts at Dawes Avenue, ends here at City Hall, where we have Santa and little gifts for the kids. And really, the big thing here is that on December 8th, Fire Company 2 is having their breakfast with Santa, which I did volunteer everyone on City Council to be able to come help and cook and serve. You only have to be there at 6 a.m., so we'll see if we can get everyone out. So, but other than that, that's all I got. And happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Mr. Frost?
Oh, I could have said that. Made it short.
Mr. Smith?
If I may, three things I just want to talk about. The first is the Paddle Club did get their waivers for their liquor license. So they have a club license that they can now apply for. I believe they are now handling the administrative aspect with that with Captain Cement, the police department. That's something that took about a year to get. They filed last November, last January, so it took a while. The second item, I had come before the council in executive session relative to a tax appeal for Atlantic Synergy Group. It owns that vacant lot that abuts the wetlands on Mays Landing Road, essentially across from Janice's house. We were able to settle that, although technically, per the resolution we enacted at the beginning of the year, if it's less than $10,000 each year, we don't have to come, but this, I'm bringing it anyway. It really works out to be about $15,000 of lost taxes on a 3-year tax appeal, and that's outlined in the resolution for you, so you can take a look at that. The next item is just to make sure it's clear to everyone, there was a change in Resolution 270 of 2024. What we were hiring Don Dunleavy for, he's being hired as the fire subcode official. And so you should have gotten a copy of that as that may be, and that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Snyder?
Yes, the first thing I want to discuss is this. We received a New Jersey DOT grant for $343,785 for Ambler Road. It's the second highest in the county besides Atlantic City. We also had our pre-construction meeting for the Ballard Drive project. The contractor, Airwalk Paving, is anticipating starting mid-December. And then on the agenda tonight is a resolution awarding the bid for reconstruction of Ocean Avenue Phase 2. That was also a DOT grant, and it came in within budget. And then lastly, the Shore Road pedestrian improvement project is out to bid right now. Bids will be received December 4th. There is an issue, and I am requesting City Council to possibly do a special meeting the same day as the steering committee meeting, because bids, city has to award a contract by December 13th as per the state aid agreement, and our next meeting is the 14th, so we're a day short. So if we receive bids December 4th, if we can award the 6th, we were looking, I was talking to Council President, we're
looking to do it
immediately after the steering committee meeting.
after the steering committee's at 10, usually over by 11. We may not be able to do it here in council chambers because it may be booked for something else, but probably we're looking into doing it at the Gateway. But as long as we have a quorum, just want to see who's available for that meeting.
And what day was that?
Friday, the December 6th. I would say 11 a.m.
Okay.
Steering's at 9, isn't it?
Steering's at 10.
It's at 10?
NRTC is usually at 9. I don't know if we'll have one.
Oh, maybe that's what I got, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I got both.
Works for me.
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Dill, you think you'll be?
Yeah, I'm fine with that,
Okay.
yes.
All
I'm
right.
sorry.
I know you.
Can you make it? They're looking at you.
What's,
He shook his head yes. Can you make the meeting, or I know you have a work
for
schedule?
Friday?
Yeah, at 11 a.m.
Available by phone, I'll be at work Friday,
Um,
but you can call me.
We'll
me on
have a quorum, so we'll.
Speaker, yeah. That'd be good.
Mr. McGuigan?
Yes.
All right, we're good. We'll have a quorum. Okay.
All right, Thank you.
We'll let everybody know as soon as we get confirmation from the Gateway, if we can use that facility.
You're out.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Unless we have a quintilia.
Anyone have any committee reports?
Madam President, if I may.
Yes, please.
Our walking group is coming up on the half-year anniversary on Monday, so we've been walking Mondays for the last 26 weeks. We're up to about 20 people per time we walk. Starting in December, we're going to add Friday to our schedule, and we're going to walk Kennedy Park, so that'll give people 3 days a week to walk, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we have what we call a WISE group, which is the Wellness Initiative for Senior Education. It's a 6-week course where we just finished our second week here, and we're getting positive feedback to that. So just to update you on some senior wellness things we're doing. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. Any other committee reports?
Madam President,
Yes, please.
the Arts Commission, shout out to Dan Myers. He's leading up the photography classes over at the senior/recreation building Saturdays. He has 2 more sessions this coming Saturday and the following Saturday on the 30th. He has over 16 registered attendees, which is pretty good. And recreation, we had just met, and we're looking at, well, the Police Athletic League is looking at partnering up with the city with soccer coming up, so look forward to that.
Okay, thank you. Could I have a motion to approve the minutes from the October 24th, 2024 meeting and executive session meeting of the same date as to content only,
I'll
and a
make-
special meeting on November 14th, 2024?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Okay, well, move on to, you don't have any proclamations, right?
Nope.
Ordinances,
Ordinance number 21 of 2024, an ordinance amending sections 174-1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, and 11 of Chapter 174 Mercantile Licenses.
I just want to preface that these 4 or 5 ordinances are all in reference to our mercantile license and business registration, and this is going to make it much simpler for both the clerk's office and also the business owners to register and get their mercantile licenses. And I thank Mr. Smith. He's been working on this for quite a while. It turned out to not be so simple. We thought it was just a little change, but we appreciate you working so hard on this. Could I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 21, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance 21 is introduced. Number 22?
Ordinance number 22 of 2024, an ordinance amending sections 95-1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of Chapter 95 Registration of Businesses.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance number 22 is introduced. Number 23?
Ordinance number 23 of 2024, an ordinance repealing Chapter 94 entitled Business and Rental Insurance Registration of the City Code.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance number 23 is introduced. Number 24, please.
Ordinance number 24 of 2024, an ordinance amending Chapter 169, Article 5, Registration and Inspection of Certain Rental Units, Apartment Units, and Dwelling Units, Section 169-47, to require liability insurance for rental unit owners.
May I have a motion, please?
So
I'll
moved.
make that motion.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance number 24 is introduced. Number 25.
Ordinance number 25 of 2024, an ordinance amending Chapter 169, Article 3, Regulations for Hotels and Motels to include Section 169-32 Liability Insurance.
May I have a motion, please?
So
I'll make
moved.
that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 25 is introduced. Number 26, please.
Ordinance number 26 of 2024, an ordinance amending Chapter 169, Article 3, Regulations for Hotels and Motels, Section 169-28, Registration Forms, Filing, Contents, and Section 169-39, Fees.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance number 26 is introduced. May I have a motion to open for public comment on resolutions only?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open for public comment on resolutions only.
Yes, good evening. John Helbig, 106 East Dawes Avenue. I just had some questions on resolution number 273. Can somebody tell me what that's about, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an escrow agreement for repair work between the city of Summers Point and West Maryland LLC?
It's to repair the fence. It's that project next to the ball fields there, next to the,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm well aware where the project is. I'm going to read a section of the zoning board resolution of approval for this project back in March of this year. If the aforementioned street vacation is approved, then this council approved a street vacation, which essentially donated over 6,000 square feet of property to this applicant. The applicant shall replace the chain link fence at the south side of the property to the approval and satisfaction of the Summers Point City Council, as that fence is located on property currently owned by the city of Summers Point. That's the subject of the required street vacation. So this was clear at the zoning board meeting. I mean, we gave this project a use variance, D1 variance. You granted them a street vacation. They clear-cut this property. If you go over there now, it's a mess. But, you know, I don't know why the city's involved in replacing this fence. This is pretty clear-cut. The applicants, that's their responsibility. It's a security fence from their perspective. So just questioning that. Thank you.
Explanation?
Mr. Smith?
Explanation. An
Yeah.
explanation.
Mr. DePangelis asked.
Pretty clear, we're complying with the DNR. This council elected to have the city handle the application, DEP, and to retain the contractor. They submitted 3 bids. You have that attached to your packet. And so they're paying for the work and
Because it's on city property, we're,
all
right,
we're doing is approving,
but they're paying for it,
and the
right,
mayor is going to sign the agreement.
right.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry, you sort of caught me,
No, I was just,
I wasn't sleeping.
it wasn't clear to me that we weren't paying, so,
But we're not paying for it, they're paying for it.
good.
That's what the escrow agreement's
Right.
for.
Right.
Yep.
But we're contracting directly with somebody to fix that fence.
That is correct.
Who's managing that contract?
My office.
Thank you.
If you look at the agreement, you'll see that, that there's a
Yeah.
fee for it. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Counselor.
Motion to close? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mayor, Council President, members of council, good evening. My name is Michael Lario. I'm an attorney at the firm of Nemat Davis and Goldstein. I'm here this evening on behalf of LBH LLC in connection with the pending application for a 5-year tax abatement. I supplied a letter to council on November 7th. I hope council had an opportunity to review it. I wanted to go through a little bit of the contents of that letter and try to respond to any questions council may have in connection with this pending
Which resolution
application.
are we talking about?
This would be the executive session,
Oh, okay.
since we're going to be discussing the matter in executive session, I would suggest there be no commentary or questions of Mr. Lanigan.
Okay.
Understood. Then again, I'd appreciate the opportunity just to explain a little bit of the contents of that letter. So the property itself, it's 101 East Maryland Avenue. It's Block 910, Lot 1. It's the existing Mexiquila restaurant. As I'm sure many on council are aware, the City of Summers Point has a 5-year tax abatement ordinance in effect right now. It's Chapter 228, Article 4, which allows for, pursuant to the state statute, for the city to grant tax abatements in certain situations. And your ordinance actually provides guidance on the types of projects, both residential and commercial, which would qualify for a 5-year tax abatement. And under 228.12, intent and purpose, it talks about promoting the rehabilitation of commercial structures in the city, improving property values, fostering civic beauty, protecting and enhancing city attractions for citizens and tourists alike. And again, the purpose of this is really to allow for a relief from the tax obligation for a 5-year period, again, for certain residential and commercial projects. LBH LLC currently holds title to the Mexiquila site. They purchased it in July of 2022. It was the former Clancy's by the Bay Restaurant, as I'm sure many on council remember, and the building at the time that they purchased it was in pretty significant disrepair. It really was approaching, it was coming off the COVID-19 pandemic. It was in need of substantial capital improvements. LBH came in, they submitted an application to the planning board, which was approved, and they undertook some pretty significant renovations to the site. A new roof, foundation work, there was asbestos remediation, the windows were replaced, interior renovations, exterior renovations, the parking area was repaved and restriped. Again, really significant improvements to bring what was an outdated building into the 21st century. And I think the results largely, they show for themselves. When you drive by the building, it really is a sharp, attractive, modern-looking restaurant. During construction, an application was filed with a tax assessor for a 5-year abatement pursuant to the City of Summers Point ordinance. Upon submission, there was a question raised, and I discussed this in my letter, as to the application fee required for these types of applications. Under your ordinance, it requires a application fee of 1.5% of the anticipated construction costs. Now, for a project of this scope, the anticipated construction costs were $2.45 million, a pretty significant sum. So 1.5% of that is approximately $36,000 would have been the application fee. Now, what's interesting is your ordinance goes on to say that this fee is for the cost of legal review and administrative costs in processing this application. And that, in fact, really tracks what the case law on this says, is the municipality's fees have to have some nexus to what the actual realistic cost is to review and administratively review this application. This issue was raised with Attorney Jim Franklin, who I know was working on the city's behalf in connection with this application, that ultimately the position of the applicant was, we understand there has to be an application fee, but there has to be some nexus involved with the computation of that fee to the actual cost. And a $40,000 application fee didn't share that nexus with the actual cost for this process, or for this application to be reviewed. And what I think is interesting is your ordinance goes on to grant this council the authority to amend that application fee via resolution. So the council does have some leeway, and the hope of the applicant was that this would be resolved with the council to a more reasonable application fee in consideration of the existing case law. And again, that was the end of 2023. In January of 2024, the applicant received an email from the tax assessor indicating that the tax abatement application had been approved. As part of that email was the tax abatement application stamped and signed by the tax assessor indicating that it was approved. It was the property record card showing that tax abatement in effect, and the tax records for the property were updated to grant that 5-year tax abatement and the associated tax savings. For the tax savings for a 5-year period, the phase-in that is provided for in the tax abatement ordinance would grant the applicant approximately $105,000. So it's a considerable amount of money that the applicant received notification that that application had been approved. And based on that notification from the tax assessor and the associated documentation, that money was reinvested back into the business. Certain improvements were planned for the site, both to the parking area, to the building itself, to the landscaping, and you'll hear a representative of LBH tonight speak a little bit more to some of those proposed or anticipated improvements to the site. But ultimately, the applicant received notification from the city that their application was approved, and in reliance upon that, planned certain improvements to the subject site. Fast forward to October of this year, we received notification from the city that that approval was actually issued in error, and that council never formally granted the assessor the authority to do that. As you can imagine, that came at a pretty significant shock to the applicant, having received this documentation, relying upon it, taking the steps necessary, and then being told, well, in fact, that $105,000 over the 5 years you thought you were getting, actually, it's not approved, and there's a question as to whether or not it will be approved. It's got to go before council. So I can tell you that there's certainly a level of shock with our client, and I think there's really two issues that council has to consider. I think the first is looking at this application strictly through the lens of your tax abatement ordinance. And I think if you look at what this site was previously, that it was an older restaurant, becoming somewhat of an eyesore, potentially could have been a future of being a blighted site, the ability of the applicant to come in to invest this significant sum, to improve it visually, to make it an attractive structure, really that's the purpose of the abatement, is to provide a certain tax relief to the applicant, to the developer in that situation. And just to be clear here, the tax relief is only on the added improvements assessed value here. So it's approximately $1 million of added assessment for the improvements we're talking about. The underlying tax obligation, that's not changing. It's really just a phase-in of that tax obligation for that added improvement value. But really, we think if you look at your ordinance, this project this application cries out for an abatement. It's a really strong situation that a tax abatement would apply for. At the same time, and what I'd ask council to consider is the equities at play here. This is a situation where the applicant received notification from the city and relied upon that notification. And that notification, in no unequal term, no unequivocal terms, stated it was an approved tax abatement application. I know that documentation was provided to members of council. Based upon that documentation, certain investments were made. And again, I know I said I had a representative of LBH LLC. Mr. Bowman, if you could you come up for just a brief moment? Mr. Smith, you want to have him sworn in, or is that?
This is public
Okay,
comment.
okay. That's just wanted to make sure. So, Mr. Bowman, if you could you first just introduce yourself?
Sure. Good evening. My name is Peyton Bowman. I'm the operator for formerly Clancy's, now Mexicala. And thank you for listening to us tonight. We appreciate the time. And as Mr. Lario said, when we received the letter, we were in shock. I'm not sure how many of you come into the restaurant or driven by, but we did take a pretty strong stance of deciding to come to Summers Point. Originally, we're from the Philadelphia, Cape May region, and with the development opportunity, one of the strong senses to kind of influence us to come to this area was obviously very pro-business, favorable development. Just as far as South End Philadelphia, there was a strong recognition of the up-and-coming area for the future of Summers Point, and we believed in that as well. Mr. Lario kind of addressed some of the investments that we put into the building for the original.
Let's talk about that. So when some of the investments you made originally, back, and again, these were in play while the abatement application was pending. Can you speak a little bit as to the work that needed to be done at the subject site?
Sure. So, again, Mr. Lario had indicated you saw the building. We recognized the building was in disarray. When we came in, we had some choices One was to originally just kind of repair what was in place, or completely replace what was in place. And so as we started getting into it, obviously throughout the construction process, there was many of the improvements that we felt it was better to just kind of wipe the slate clean. And he had mentioned the asbestos. Certainly we kind of encapsulated the asbestos, but you know, we chose to remediate the asbestos. Other things, the roof, you know, it could have been repaired. We decided to replace the roof. The list would just go on. Structural replacement, there was water damage in the parking lot that was, you know, fast forwarding to some of the savings in the tax. You know, when we originally took it over, there were literally puddles in the parking lot with seagulls floating in it, and, you know, it was all uneven. So there was a lot of consideration going into, obviously, what we felt Summers Point wanted to see. Obviously, we have a business to run, and what would take that business to kind of put us into the forefront of, you know, the development of the Summers Point community and also the future of Summers Point. So.
Once in January this year, you received word that you approving, you spoke about anticipated tax savings. Can you speak a little bit as to the steps
Sure.
the business took in anticipation and reliance upon that anticipated tax savings?
Sure. Well, obviously, we're in a restaurant business. We work on low margins. We are a penny savings, you know, kind of measure in terms of the restaurant industry. Every penny counts. When we had some savings, we had went ahead, you know, just some small examples of landscaping project. We had a 2-phase project. You know, we were going to use that money to continue with the landscaping and the lighting of the project. You know, some of the other little small areas, again, these are all just touches to the property, to the community, but when we have that kind of money at our disposal to help, although not a lot of money, you know, as he indicated, it's a good amount for us in a small business, the small margins. You know, some of the things we heard certainly were prior to even occupancy, you know, we spent a lot of time talking to the neighbors and what were some of the issues with the restaurant. One was the late night, the noise coming out of there at 2 a.m. So we kind of changed our business model. The second was the employees parking throughout the neighborhood. As Mr. Lario said, you know, when we realized we were going to be able to save some money on some taxes, we actually rented the property next door for the employees to park in. We felt that was good, and it really, to this day, the neighbors that come into the restaurant really thank us. They said it's much cleaner, there's no noise at the end. They appreciate every aspect, so they certainly seem to recognize that, you know, having employees not park throughout the neighborhoods and the streets. Right now, you know, during the season, we were up as high as 65 employees. So we felt that was one, and again, that's just where some of the savings that you can see into the project. You know, we're hoping to kind of give back to the community with it. And
all of that is threatened, obviously, if the anticipated tax savings is not received, correct?
It is. Well, it is. It doesn't help the situation. I mean, obviously, we're in the business to make money and obviously survive. So again, in our business, every little penny counts. And so certainly things of this nature would have to rethink of, you know, where that money could go or where it's not going to go. And if we don't have the savings, then we'd have to kind of reevaluate everything, I'm sure, as everybody else would in our situation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just briefly in closing, again, I think this is certainly a unique situation before council. We certainly don't want to be here making this presentation in the circumstances that they are. It's something it's unfortunate, but ultimately, again, we feel that putting the approval aside, just looking at this project as it stands, it would qualify under your ordinance, and we feel strongly like that. And I think if you look at the building and the work that was done, it would meet that requirements. I think when you factor in the equities at play here and the fact that an approval was given to my client, and he relied on that approval and the potential cost savings, I think when you combine them together, I think it strongly supports council granting this 5-year tax abatement for my client. And I understand you can't ask me any questions, but if there is anything in the future I can provide, any information, please let me know.
Thank you. Motion to close?
Make that motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now closed for public comment. Resolution number 254, please.
Resolution number 254 of 2024, awarding bid for the fiscal year 2023 municipal aid reconstruction of Ocean Avenue Phase 2.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 254 is adopted. Number 257,
Resolution number 257 of 2024, Best Practices Inventory.
So moved.
Second.
any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 257 is adopted. Number 258,
Resolution number 258 of 2024, Chapter 159 Resolution, Sustainable Communities Environmental Stewardship, DeFeo Lane Environmental and Interpretive Trail Project.
may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment, Madam President, if I may.
Certainly.
I've had the opportunity to walk that property with Mr. McGuigan and Mr. Helbig a couple times, and I think this would be a great opportunity for the city to enhance recreation and education over there, so I wholly support the project.
I agree. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 258 is adopted. Number 259,
Resolution number 259 of 2024, Chapter 159 Resolution, 2025 Neighborhood Preservation Program.
may I have a motion,
I'll make
please?
that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 259 is adopted. Number 260, please.
Resolution number 260 of 2024, authorizing agreement with Fred W. Cottrell Jr.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 260 is adopted. Number 261,
Resolution number 261 of 2024, hiring a full-time public safety telecommunicator, namely Jacob Bell.
may I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Resolution number 261 is adopted. Number 262,
Resolution number 262 of 2024, authorizing purchase of playground equipment through the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, National Cooperative Purchasing Program for contract number 24/25-01-01, playground equipment, site furnishings, outdoor circuit training equipment, and related products for the Summers Point Public Works Department.
may I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 262 is adopted. Number 263,
Resolution number 263 of 2024, authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to cancel grant balance.
may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 263 is adopted. Number 264,
Resolution number 264 of 2024, budget appropriation transfer.
may I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 264 is adopted. Resolution number 265,
Resolution number 265 of 2024, a resolution approving a short-term tax exemption application for 2 Woodlawn Avenue.
may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 265 is adopted. Number 266,
Resolution number 266 of 2024, approval of short-term tax exemption application for Sunset Avenue Redevelopment LLC.
may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 266 is adopted. Number 267,
Resolution number 267 of 2024, authorizing executive session, advice of counsel, and attorney-client communication regarding potential litigation in connection with the tax abatement application of LBH LLC, 101 East Maryland Ave, Block 910, Lot 1, Summers Point, New Jersey.
may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 267 is adopted. We'll be going into executive session towards the end of the meeting. In the interest of everyone's time. Number 268, please.
Resolution number 268 of 2024, authorizing the city's assessor and tax council to prosecute matters at the tax board and in the tax court.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 268 is adopted. Number 269,
Resolution number 269 of 2024, a resolution authorizing tax council to settle the pending tax appeals of Atlantic Synergy Group LLC regarding Block 2021, Lot 1.05, also known as 500 Mays Landing Road in the city of Summers Point.
may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 269 is adopted. Number 270,
Resolution number 270 of 2024, part-time hiring of fire subcode official, namely Don Dunleavy.
may I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Any comments?
Is there anything that kid can't do?
I know, right?
I know.
We're lucky to have them. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 270 is adopted. Number 271,
Resolution number 271 of 2024, Chapter 159 Resolution, NJDOT Ambler Road Phase 1.
may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 271 is adopted. Number 272,
Resolution number 272 of 2024, approving proposals, goods and services 2024.
may I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 272 is adopted. Number 273,
Resolution number 273 of 2024, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an escrow agreement for repair work between the City of Summers Point and West Maryland LLC.
may I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 273 is adopted. Okay. Anyone have any old business to discuss? Moving forward to new business.
Yes.
Mr. Frost.
Sure. So council should have this letter of intent in the package you received this evening. This letter of intent relates to our need or potential need for 2 trash trucks going into next year. It's anticipated that as of January 1, the Advanced Clean Trucks Act may in fact lead to longer wait times or departing ability to procure these trash trucks. We've heard estimates of 18 months. So these trash trucks were going to be budgeted for the 6-year capital plan for 2025 and another one in 2027. The concern is that we may not be able to get them if we wait until January to do so. This LOI is a non-binding LOI, and what it does is essentially gets us in line to earmark 2 of these trash trucks. Next year, we would still have to pass a resolution, we would still have to budget, we would still have to certify funds. But obviously, the concern is if we get into January of next year or past that, we may not be able to get in line to acquire these vehicles next year. So the LOI is, I'm requesting council give me approval to send the LOI to the vendor, who's under a co-op contract, to basically earmark them without obligating us to purchase them next year.
So we're not, this is non-binding, no obligation, we're just doing it,
Like calling ahead, making a reservation.
Right.
And then
and
Canceling.
canceling it.
Yeah.
Sure.
No obligation, it's just puts us in the queue for purchasing.
So we're not 18 months without the trash truck. Yeah. Anybody have any other questions?
Nope.
Anybody okay with Mr. Frost proceeding?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Good catch. Steve, thank you. Okay. Any other new business to discuss? Hearing none. Discussion of the bills?
Sure, this evening we have a bill list in the amount of $428,082.62, as well as a record of payments in the amount of $2,495,942.35.
Could I have a motion to open for public comment, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open for public comment. Anyone wishing to speak, please come up and state your name and name for the record.
Motion to close the public portion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now closed for public comment. Any other comments from the governing body before we go into executive session?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Owen.
I believe December 5th, the hospital's going to have a tree lighting ceremony at 5 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. Good to know. Are they doing the trees
Down
up
along,
front again?
along Bay Avenue, as
Yeah.
far as I know.
Okay,
I could be wrong, but
we'll check. Any other comments?
if not, they have the tree in the, visitors section, so.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Could I have a motion to pay the bills, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, you can pay the bills. We'll take a 5-minute recess, and then we'll go into executive session. We don't anticipate doing anything after executive, but you're more than welcome to wait in the lobby, and we'll come out and tell you when we're done. Thank you.